This is the Settings app, and I've gone to this page, but this is how you get to it from the home page. Come on. It's this one up here, the one that says Settings. And that one has all kinds of stuff in it so that you can set your preferences and how things will work and if you'll be notified, all that kind of stuff. How much battery you have left. Just there's a load of stuff in there. So this may be a two-parter. We'll have to see. They're sort of organized, you can see, in these white boxes, but sometimes the boxes don't make a lot of sense. Let's see, we're not at the top there. There we are. So I don't have a good way of starting to tell you what all these things are about. And some of them you really won't use, or I'm going to sort of skip over because they're either not very important or I don't understand them, or you'll have to figure them out or something. But I guess I can just start with the top here, especially on this side. Here where it says About, that will tell you how much capacity you have in gigabytes and how much is available. And the operating system itself takes up some of those gigabytes, so that's why the numbers aren't necessarily what you think. This shows you the version of the operating system you have, and it says 9.1. I'm a little surprised by that because I thought you had 9.2, and they're up to 9.3 now, so I will update it to 9.3 before I send it. And this is your model number, very important, and your serial number, very important. And this is your Wi-Fi address if you ever need it, and your Bluetooth number. Legal, I don't know what that means, probably like sign your life away or something. And I don't know what trust store means, but sometimes they'll ask for these numbers if you call to get help with them and, to prove that you actually do have the thing in your possession. Now, the name that I've given this one is Margaret's iPad. If you want to change that, you could just click the X and type in whatever you wanted. But let's go back to About, and this is how you go back. In this column, you'll have some way to go back, and sometimes in this column, you'll have a way to go back. But we're going back to About now. And this tells you how many songs and videos and photos you have and how many applications, how many apps you have on your thing. So let's go back to software update. See, it tells me that there's one software update there, and if I want to update, all I have to do is go to that and say update now when it's checking for update now. Oh, it's 9.2.1. I could have sworn it said 9.3. Okay, anyway, you just click that download and install, and it will take care of the rest of it. Now, Siri is, what does it have for Siri? Oh, Siri, is the thing where you can use your voice to ask it questions or tell it to do things, the iPad. And the way you do that is by pressing twice not pressing twice, holding down on the hard button. And then when you're let go, and then speak whatever you want to speak. And then when you're done, press again. So I'm allowing Siri to be used. This is something called Hey Siri, meaning that you can speak to it without pressing the home button by just saying Hey Siri. But I think that you have to be connected to power, and that's just not something you probably would be doing. These things are obvious. English as the language. I chose the female voice because I find it easier to understand, but you can change it if you want. And the voice feedback, I forget what that means, but you probably want it. And this is your information. Okay, so that's all that's there. And Spotlight Search is, I think this allows, I forget whether you have all Spotlight Search. I talked about that before and I can't remember. But I allowed all of these to be found in the Spotlight Search, which is sort of like the general search for the whole iPad. So let's go back. And accessibility has a couple of interesting things. This is mostly for people who have physical problems and whatever, but some of it can be interesting. And I use the, what is it that I've said? The larger text I have set to on. Now, I don't set the bold text because, God, that's really hard to read. And reduce motion is off on labels. See, I don't remember what half of these things mean. Voiceover is off. Zoom is on, however, and that means that you can press 3 times and everything will get much larger. And then I think you press 3 times again and it gets smaller. That's just an option. And then down here is the keyboard. And hold on, is there anything else here that's important? You can change how the home button works. And here, let's look at the keyboard. I forget what the important thing is on here that I actually do use. This is show lowercase keys. And that's, some of them won't do that, so I have that set. And key repeat, I think that just allows you to repeat without it going crazy or something. Sticky keys are off. I forgot what that means. Slow keys are off. Again, I think that has to do with people with disabilities and when they're typing, especially using a Bluetooth keyboard, which you probably will not be using. All right, so let's go back from accessibility. Keyboard, shake to undo. I always found that very awkward. You just shake the whole thing instead of being able to hit a key to undo the last action. Okay, so I guess I've forgotten what the other thing is. We'll just go back. And gestures, here are some of the gestures. You saw me do pinch 5 fingers to go back to the home screen. So I've allowed gestures to be used by putting that button to green. You can also swipe up to what they call the app switcher, which is like this. Oops. You have to do it just right, though. Oh. That's not it. Okay. Swipe up to the app switcher. Maybe you have to be in a regular program. Let's see. This is, we're in an app now. No, that brought that up. Maybe it's from the center. Okay, well, have to figure that out later. I do remember most of these works. When we get back, not to the App Store, I want to go to the settings and gestures. And you can swipe right or left to go between apps. So let's try it here. Oops. Let's go back to general. And that would be like this. But see, there's nothing on that side. But let's see if there's anything on this side. There. So now we've gone to the App Store. And now we've gone to the photo apps. And that's all I have open, I guess, is the 3 of them, besides the home screen. So we'll go back. So I've just allowed those gestures. I think there are other gestures and gestures that you can create yourself, but you would have to find out exactly how to do that. It's probably in another area here. Okay, that's not good. So use the side switch to either mute it or lock rotation. I don't use either one of those, so I just put it on mute because I want, when I turn it, for it to change orientations. If you put it on lock rotation, it won't change, and it will just stay that way, which you could use for some things, but I don't use. Auto lock, I'm going to skip over these two. Auto lock, I've got it set for 2 minutes. That means that after it goes off, when you close it or something like that, it will take 2 minutes before it, and that just helps you with battery power before it locks, and you'd have to unlock it again. Restrictions, I've got that off. Lock, unlock, I've got that. Oh, I'm not sure exactly what that does. Probably just the option to do that. Date and time, that's to set it if it's not right. Keyboard, that has some stuff on it. And I have selected all of these things for you to be able to do, including enabling dictation. The predictive means that it will try to guess what you're going to type next, and you can select those by pressing them if you want. Shortcuts, you can create your own shortcuts, and there are a few that are built-ins where you would type certain keys and it would do certain things. Here you can enable all of your caps, all of your letters to be capitalized. Here's the checked spelling. Here's the auto correction, which of course can be good or bad. And this is the auto capitalization, meaning at the end, when it finds a period, after that, the next letter will automatically be capitalized. I have two keyboards here, the one for regular English and then the emoji one, which may have come with it, I'm not sure. And you can add new keyboards if you want by looking through here and seeing all the different ones they have in different languages, and there may be some other ones. There are other ones that you can get as apps too, that you can use. But I'm satisfied with this one. Keyboards. Language and region, I've already set that up as English and so forth. iTunes Wi-Fi sync, can't remember what that does. To enable Wi-Fi syncing with iTunes, connect to iTunes on your computer using a cable, and then, okay, that's one of the things I don't understand that you might look into. Reset is factory reset. That will put everything on here back to the way it was when it came from the factory, meaning all your apps will be gone, none of your preferences will remain. That's if you, like, for instance, sell it to somebody and you don't want any of your information on there, then you hit reset and it'll say, are you sure you want to factory reset this? Storage and iCloud usage, that's very confusing to me. iCloud is still kind of uncertain for me, although one of the things I've found out lately is that in order to send a video that you make on your iPad or iPhone to YouTube, you have to send it from iCloud. And I have some steps about how to do that. It's not hard, it's just that I didn't know that before. So let's look here at storage and iCloud. Storage is just, again, telling you how many gigabytes you've used up by putting apps and photos and music or whatever on here. And here you can manage it by ordering. It's going to tell you. This is going to tell you exactly how much each of your apps, this is actually very helpful, uses in megabytes or gigabytes. All of these are the smaller megabytes, not as much as that. But they're in order, so you can see here that Facebook, on your one, not on mine, takes up the most megabytes for its little system that it uses and all the stuff it puts on your iPad, as well as any photos and all that stuff that are on Amazon, Facebook. And Amazon is the second one for me. Chrome is the third. Wow, that's big. Sketchmaster, I'm not sure why that's, Draw Free, I'm not sure why. Sketchmaster is one of the drawing tools I put on here. YouTube is pretty big. Here's your iHeartRadio. So as you go down, you can see how big things are. And if you want to erase some of these and say, this is too big, or I don't use it, and I really want to get rid of so if you want to get rid of Simpler, for instance, that one takes up a very small amount of megabytes, especially right now. But you could delete the app if you wanted to. Or you could just press and hold, I believe, from the app itself on the display. How are we doing? Oh, we're getting close to 15 minutes again. This is just taking way too long. Okay. Now, I guess it's this. See, this is for regular storage. This is for iCloud. And iCloud is like a certain amount of storage that they give you for free, or you can buy more, that will have only Apple-related stuff in it. In other words, it's anything that any photos that you've put on your iPad, or videos, or other stuff like that. It also keeps all of your apps in case you lose them or something. I'm going to have to stop right now.